thanks for viewing our progress over the past 3 days. We put in a lot of work into this robot and we're finally glad to introduce you our final product, Sirius. So now we're going to talk a little bit about how our robot works. So our main focus was to get over a majority of the defenses because we thought the focus should be to get that extra ranking point. And we didn't focus as much on getting our shooter that we talked about on our day 2 update, like fine-tuned and mounted on the robot, as our intake already worked. So we prioritized making sure that we could get over all of the defenses that we wanted to properly. So one of these mechanisms that we added would be this arm mechanism on the back, which simply lifts up the gate, and we also added these rails so it'll be easier to slide under the gate, and so it'll just be fast when we drive under it.
So I'm going to talk about the arm, and the arm mechanism has our intake on the end of it. Andrew's going to talk about it in a minute, but the arm is to get over the cheval de frise and the rock wall, just so we can lift up the front of the drivetrain or push down the cheval de frise so we can get the drivetrain over it. We used a motor here and chain drove it to the arm so we could pivot it up as high as we wanted to get it back into the frame perimeter to start at the beginning of the match.
So over here on the front of the robot, we have our intake mounted to our arm. So for the intake, we use the blue nitro traction tread that normally comes with the Andymark traction wheels. And we have these Lexan plates to help funnel the ball into the center of our intake, which was originally intended to help center the ball for our shooter. And we have this piston over on the back to help actuate the arm open and close also for the shooter.
So I'm going to go into the specifics of the drivetrain. We went with the West Coast drive, 6-wheel drive with the Andymark pneumatic tires, 8 inches in diameter. We used chain on the outside of the wheels, but I would move the chain on the inside to prevent clearance. We also went with Lexan on the bottom to help skid over obstacles, which we mounted our electronics onto to keep the low profile. In addition to that, we geared the drivetrain for around 12.5 feet per second, mainly because we couldn't gear it any lower, but additionally, it is good for getting over some of the obstacles to help bump over them instead of having to go over them slow.
So we just wanted to talk about how we really highly recommend that you make sure that your drivetrain is built robustly no matter what, because over the progress of the past few days of wall testing, we've already done things like broken bearing blocks, chain has been gotten in some weird places.
It's come off. Yeah, that's not. Yeah. It actually locked up the drivetrain because we went over an obstacle and then it locked it up. So make sure that whatever you do on your drivetrain, make sure that it doesn't come off.
And if you decide to go with a West Coast style drivetrain, as we said earlier, we really recommend feeding the chain through the tube as you should.
On the inside of the wheel, on the inside of the tube is what, not inside the tube, but inside the center of your drivetrain is better because it will keep it out of the way from where your wheels are. Okay guys, so make sure that if you do decide to go under the low bar, you will fit, because even though you may be under the 16 inches of the low bar, when you try to go up the ramp, the front of your robot may hit the top of the bar. So we went with around a 13-inch height drivetrain, and that was able to get under it, but just barely. So make sure that if you do decide to go under the low bar, make sure that you can get under it. So I would either do a drawing or do it in CAD or something. Just make sure you can get under it before you build your robot and expect it to get under it.
Thanks for watching our progress with past 3 days.
And thank you to all of our sponsors. We really appreciate it. We couldn't have done it without you. And good luck to all of you guys in the 2016 FRC game First Stronghold.
We hope you guys watch us again next year.